Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to this Sunday. We're doing our Clash in Paris watch-along, if I can get that out of my mouth.
You're so excited about Clash in Paris. It's making you speechless.
I saw a stat today on the Twitter. Somebody noted that the average age of the participants at Clash are like 50 or something like that, which I was like, wait, who's over 50 in that match? I don't think it made it. I don't know if they know their math properly, unless there's like one 80-year-old there that I'm not aware of. Cena's there. Cena's like, is Cena even 50 yet?
No, I don't believe so.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe it said it was 47 or something like that. 47 sounds a bit more plausible, perhaps. Maybe 46. I don't know. In any event, it was a really large number. But we're not going to talk about that today. We're going to wait until Sunday to talk about Clash in Paris. Today, we've got a bunch of news from around the world of wrestling, including, oh boy, I love this hat, former AEW talent Jake Hager blasting Tony Khan and putting FTR to a degree on notice and getting some backlash for that. We've also got the latest on the Knox Pro Raja Jackson stuff. And then one Kelly Osbourne, not too happy with the WWE right now. We'll tell you guys why. You probably figured it out for yourself if you watched Monday Night Raw. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to answer a bunch of your questions. But first, oh boy, there's nothing like when a wrestler shoots from the hip, Larson. It sounds like Jake Hager is doing just that on the Chris Van Vliet show.
Yeah, honestly, he should have stuck to, I like this hat. So former AEW talent Jake Hager, as mentioned, blasted Tony Khan during a recent interview with Chris Van Vliet. And FTR was quick to dispute Hager's claims. So Hager said about Khan the following. These transcripts come to you from No DQ. He says this: "My first contract with AEW is up, and after that, the negotiation process was very one-way. I could tell that. Well, anyways, I always find a way to say this every day, so I think everyone should too. Fuck Tony Khan. I could tell that he didn't want me there. He offered me like a year and a half. I was like, bro, I just did Stadium Stampede twice. Don't act like Stadium Stampede didn't put AEW on the map."
Well, this is definitely going to be a try not to pause and heavy sigh challenge for you, Larson, reading these transcripts.
Don't act like Stadium Stampede didn't put AEW on the map. I was in the debut episode. I was the big spoiler. And you offered me 18 months after all that? All right. So, he continues. So it was that, and the way he started running the business, it really felt like he wasn't professional. After all the punk shit that went down, the boys got together and we had a meeting. Boys only. No office. Sting's in there. Chris Jericho, Brian, Mox, they're all standing at the front, kind of talking us through this shit. And lo and behold, who comes storming into the room? Daddy's a little billionaire, and he's yelling at us because I think it was Dax and Cash Wheeler didn't want to come in. They didn't like the storyline, so they refused to come to TV that day. And he was like, listen, I'll put you... Steve, do you want to do the Tony Khan?
Yeah, absolutely. So Tony Khan storms in, according to Hager, and says, listen, I'll put you in a 6-man 6 minutes before the show, and you're going to do it.
Hager continues. And we're all just feeling disrespected. I still, to this day, wish I would have stood up and said a lot of things. But he had just told Sting that he was going to put him in a 6-man 6 minutes before the show. And then he was going to honor him for his retirement. We became his little playthings. We had to wait outside of his office. His storylines were very good at debuting, but he can never carry anything through. We got to the point where I'm carrying on, but I couldn't tell him anything. He couldn't take criticism. He was fucking up. And we were all just having to deal with it. We all had blood, sweat, and tears put into that company. We were all there at the beginning. We all had our careers behind us that helped build that company. And then we just had to sit side by side and couldn't do anything because he wanted to run it the way he wanted to run it.
Yeah, so there's a lot to put together there. And I'm going to try to be as diplomatic as possible. Maybe not shoot as hard as I could here. To say that Jake Hager may be overstating perhaps his value to the AEW fans. I know you got a lot to say. Go ahead. Might as well.
What is Jake's time in AEW most remembered for?
Like,
say it in one sentence. Say it in one sentence.
I like this hat, or I love this hat. Speaking
the purple
of
bucket
which,
hat. Yes.
Yeah, the bucket hat stuff. Speaking of which, he actually explained that a little bit, where he was taking inspiration. This I got off of Cultaholic's Twitter here. He says, I feel like the hat could have been way bigger. I pitched an idea, and I think this is great. Like I wanted to turn into Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy, where I would say, I like this hat, and everybody in Jericho Appreciation Society would know what I'm saying. I'm not saying I like this hat. I'm not saying I am Groot. They would just have, they just would have played off of it. So it'd be like just ripping off the I am Groot.
That's kind of what they did, though.
Did they actually do the thing where he said, I like this hat, and it was meant to be some other thing that he's saying? And
it wasn't supposed to be a situation where I like this hat is his response to everything. But there was different contexts where he said, I like this hat.
Yeah, but terribly, he wanted to make it so that was the only language he spoke, much like Groot's I am Groot, where it's actually saying that's actually him talking and saying a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
So that's a terrible idea.
It is a terrible idea. Overstating his...
Before we go... Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Because I want to... There's a lot more before we go on to the next bit here.
Yes. In terms of overstating his impact, I guess he was on the debut episode. He was the spoiler, as he says, but I kind of remember seeing him debut and saying, all right.
When you think of bad Mox title reign matches...
Oh,
what's
that one they had at
first
Daly's?
One that comes to mind?
The one that it was Mox and Hager at Daly's place.
Yeah.
That was slow, plodding horseshit.
Yeah. I mean, I get it, man. The guy, he's got pride. he feels slighted, and I'm sure he's a huge Jake Hager fan. But like, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know that anybody. I'm kind of curious if he had any shirts and what their numbers were.
Yeah,
because it's like, do you think anybody out there is like a number one Jake Hager fan that isn't Jake Hager?
Maybe his wife.
Man, I don't want to pile on, but it's like, I don't know. He comes, he says, I want everybody to say fuck Tony Khan. Well, okay, man. I know plenty of people are fine saying fuck Tony Khan and they don't like AEW for whatever reason, but it ain't gonna be because he didn't resign. I'm shocked that he actually offered him 18 months, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. I would have thought.
All right, he offered you something.
Thank you, Jake, for your time. We appreciate it. Now, the one thing, and this has played out on social media, so we know this, Tony Khan does not like to be publicly criticized.
Yeah.
We have seen that play out.
Yeah.
So that I don't find surprising.
Yeah. Then to add to the story, or to talk about the story about Tony Khan coming in during an all boys meeting, no office allowed. The guy paying our paychecks, he's not allowed to be in here, which is fine. They do that, I guess, wrestlers court and stuff like that. Tony Khan comes walking into this meeting and he says, I'll put you guys in a 6-man before the show starts or something like that. And he said, oh yeah, because Dax and Cash didn't want to come in. Well, Dax and Cash took to social media to say, it didn't happen. Cash posted a screenshot of a DM conversation, because Dax first piped up and was like, this didn't happen. And then Cash posted a screenshot of a DM conversation where he told Jake, hey man, what's up with this? Here, I have the actual screenshot right here. And Cash reached out to him and said, oh no, he just sent him the link to this. And Jake Hager said, I apologize if you're upset. I said, I think it was you two. Didn't say it definitely was, but that meeting happened. Cash says, I know, but to say I think and then actually say our names makes us look like assholes, and it wasn't even us. We're assholes, but we show up for work. He says, I apologize. I shouldn't have said your names, especially when I didn't know. for sure. Now, what Dax said, let me bring up the Dax.
I have it here, the quote.
Oh, great. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So Dax says this on Twitter, quote,
Yeah.
Cash and I were at the all-talent-only meeting that was called by Brian, Jericho, and Mox. Tony never interrupted. Cash and I have never refused to show up to work, and I dare say if you look at our schedule since Collision started, we're the most consistent talent that make both shows every week. I'm not really sure where all this is coming from, but it's mostly not true.
It's mostly not true. I'll be honest with you. You know, one of the prevailing theories about Tony Khan is that he's about a bit of a pushover. Is that he's too nice. He's a friendly. Even CM Punk said he's a nice guy.
Pretty much, he's more the vibe that we've gotten is that he's more concerned with being wrestlers' friends than their boss.
So that being said, if I'm the guy cutting the paychecks, and these guys are having their little boys meeting, and Sting's in there, Jericho, Brian, Mox. And I'm going to storm in and say, hey, you assholes, you work for me. You're going to be in a 6-man tonight. Number one, if I'm one of the boys, I'm like, hey, you know what? Good for him. Standing up for himself. Number two, I'm like, a 6-man, I get to take it easy.
Yeah, 6 minutes, 6-man. What? You're wrestling, you're in the ring in maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, dude, I get to chill
Seems like an
tonight.
easy day at the office.
How many bumps do I have to take tonight? None. It's a 6-man. Ain't going to do shit.
Nice.
Who's going to get isolated tonight? Hager. You
Sounds
get
good.
isolated tonight. I'm joking. I have no idea what the dynamic was or what this situation was. But the idea that, you know, Tony Khan is some maniacal dude running around saying he's going to put everybody in 6-men's. It sounds weird and kind of funny to me.
It does. It does, based on everything we've heard and what we've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that, like, you know, Mox, Brian, Jericho. I mean, I don't know about Jericho now, but Jericho's never had, I don't think, a bad word to say about Tony Khan. I mean, but Brian and Mox and Sting, I don't know, man. They get treated pretty darn well there.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, I don't know. I'm sure, like anything else, there's probably a kernel of truth to what's to his perception of this particular story. But yeah, I don't know. It was just sort of funny.
And we also know that the human memory is imperfect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this
Yeah.
could be a couple different events that Hager is conflating, you know, combining in his mind
Yeah, right.
and forging this narrative. He's not doing it out of any malice, I guess. People misremember stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, and that could be a possibility here too. I mean,
Yeah.
he shouldn't have mentioned FTR if he wasn't sure if it was FTR. I mean, honestly, he shouldn't have mentioned anybody, you know, by name.
Yeah,
That probably isn't the best thing to do.
Probably not. No.
But, yeah, if you're not sure about it, then just don't name anybody. Because it could be a situation like this where, whether you heard it through the grapevine or he had any sort of firsthand passing knowledge of what happened, you
Yeah.
apparently got it wrong.
Yeah.
And then you got wrestlers in your DMs putting you on blast because you mentioned their names when they weren't apparently involved.
Well, and also, you know, it makes people who might be interested in this interview then go back and be like, you know, how much of this can how reliable is it? How credible is this information? If I'm going to invest my time and watch a wonderful Chris Van Vliet interview, maybe I'll, you know, watch a Killer Cross one instead. Was Cross on Van Vliet yet? I thought he was.
You mean since he
got released? He did Helwani, but has he done Van Vliet?
Not that I'm aware of.
I don't know. I'll watch.
He's done Van Vliet before.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but not since then.
I don't believe so, but it could be.
Yeah. But anyways, you know, hopefully Hager is invested well, and then, you know, he's doing okay.
He's
and
got the trucking company. That's what he's doing now. Apparently.
You mentioned that earlier today. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. You know, it's probably a good investment. People need things delivered.
Yeah.
So,
things need to be transported.
Yeah. So what was the name of that faction he had with Dutch Mantel? The Don't Tread on Me one? We the People.
I don't remember what the faction was called, though.
We the People trucking. It wasn't called We the People?
No, I thought that was just his catchphrase.
The Real Americans, something like that.
Maybe that's
the name of that faction.
Maybe it was.
Oh, that'd be horrible if it was actually Real Americans.
I thought that's what it was.
Now I'm really curious. Hold on a second. Jake Hager. Wait, what was the name in WWE?
Jack Swagger, Steve.
Jack
How could you forget?
Mantel. And then, like, Alberto was in it. It was like, wait, what's happening?
Yeah, the Real Americans. Yeah, it was the Real Americans.
It was the Real Americans?
Yeah.
That's horrible. That is wild. That's wild business. They did that shit. Oh man, that's wildly fun. That was, man, silly backstage pro wrestling shenanigans. It's always entertaining. It's
It
not
really
too
is.
not too heavy. It's silliness.
Yeah.
Good luck to Jake Hager. Hopefully he finds what he's looking in life, man. And you know what? In honor of Jake Hager, I'll just say it today. Fuck Tony Khan. How about that?
There you go.
There you go. I like Tony Khan. He seems all right.
Yeah.
But just for Jake Hager, that's right there for allowing us to make fun of him a little bit. Anyways, dude, we got a couple sponsors for the show this week. You want to talk about is Real American Trucking Company one of them, Larson?
No, it's not.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about our actual sponsors then.
All right, let's get after it. This episode of Going In Raw is sponsored by Tempo. Summer may be winding down, but that doesn't mean our schedules are getting any less busy. Between work, school, more trips, our schedules are pretty packed, and it can make it tough to plan nutritious meals for ourselves and our families.
That's all true, Larson, but instead of settling for fast food, try Tempo. Tempo serves up fast, feel-good, single-serving meals which takes all the guesswork out of eating well and are crafted to cook in just 3 minutes, so you can eat well without sacrificing taste or convenience.
Tempo also offers new recipes each week, like spicy pork carnitas and rice bowls, and basil pesto chicken primavera that are made with real nutrient-rich ingredients, so it's easy to keep up with your healthy lifestyle. And Steve, I need to get my protein in every day. And Tempo offers a range of meals for different dietary preferences, including fiber-rich, carb-conscious, and oh yes, protein-packed options.
And for a limited time, Tempo is offering our listeners 60% off your first box. Go to tempomeals.com/raw. That's tempomeals.com/raw for 60% off your first box. Tempomeals.com/raw. Rules and restrictions may apply.
And this episode is sponsored by him, Steve. I know we're both looking to become 2-time Predictions Challenge winners. Currently in first place. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Get that happen.
Good job on that, by the way.
Thank you. But if I can be honest, I don't really think either of us need another hat like this one here to cover up what we got going on up here. We need personalized plans to regrow our hair.
I don't know what all this we business is about, Larson.
Well, both of us, we.
Don't bring me into this. You keep talking about my hairline when you should be worried about your own, Larson. Worry about yourself.
Denial. That's what that sounds like. It sounds like you're in denial, Steve, but you can't deny that Hims offers convenient access to a range of doctor-trusted, clinically proven prescription hair loss treatment options with ingredients that work in as little as 3 to 6 months. And you have to go out of your way to do it because Hims brings expert care right to you with 100% online access to personalized treatments. Steve,
Yeah.
are you listening to me?
Yes, of course, always.
You could literally get trusted treatments right from that couch right there behind you, the one right behind your chair. Turn around and look at it. That couch right there. So, for simple online access to personalized and affordable care for hair loss, ED, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/goinginraw. That's hims.com/goinginraw for your free online visit. hims.com/goinginraw.
Individual results may vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. Prescriptions required. See website for full details, restrictions, and important safety information.
This episode of Going In Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp, Steve. I don't know if you've been on internet lately, but whenever I go on internet, everywhere I go, I'm overloaded with all sorts of posts from people trying to dole out all kinds of advice about mental health or wellness.
Yeah. No, I've been on internet lately, Larson, and I can confirm that is the case. It can be a lot to navigate, which is why it's important to use trusted sources and talk to live therapists to help you break through all that noise.
That's true. I definitely needed some help breaking through all the noise when I was dealing with severe anxiety about 20 years ago. Eventually, I got to the point where I had to go to therapy, and therapy helped me learn the tools I needed to better cope with my anxiety and got me on the path to hopefully becoming a much better Larson.
With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. BetterHelp is also making therapy much more convenient. You can join a session with a therapist with a click of a button, so you can fit therapy into your busy schedule, and you can switch therapists at any time.
As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. So talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/raw. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw.
Before we continue on with the show, I wanted to point this out. The August Predictions Challenge concludes with Clash in Paris. Larson, like you said, you currently have a 1-point lead. You are on the road, my friend, to becoming a 2-time predictions champion. How do you feel about that?
Probably gonna choke. I'm probably gonna lose the lead. I'm probably gonna lose.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I'd like to see if there's some sort of stat regarding people who have a lead going into a final event and how often they choke versus how often they maintain that lead. But of course, if you want to get in on the predictions challenge, the last event, obviously there are probably too many points to make up to win if you haven't participated yet. However, if you want to put us all on notice, if you want to make a big impact and let everybody know that you have arrived, or if you just want to have some fun and, do the predictions thing, then get the Friendo Club set up. You can do that by getting a channel membership here at youtube.com/Steven Larson by clicking join, or you can go to patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Click on the Friendo Club setup there. Either way you do it, you get access to the same stuff. The predictions challenge, you get access to the bonus episodes. We still have to lock Hilton down for the big Hilton interview for our next bonus episode next week. On top of that, get access to the question threads for all the shows as well. So, and it's a great way to help support us here at the show. Patreon.com/Steve and Larson. If you're watching on YouTube, you can the QR code is down there by Larson, or you can just click join right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. All right, man, there was some heavy business that we discussed on the show yesterday as it pertains to the incident at the Knox Pro promotion with Raja Jackson, the son of Quentin Rampage Jackson, where, we talked about it extensively in the show yesterday. In short, they, asked him to come and do this thing with the Psycho Stu guy. He went in there and did way too much, punched this guy into oblivion, like 22 shots to the head before anybody got in and stopped it. And now it's a big kerfuffle. We're not sure. Seems like there's an investigation opened up by the police, possibly pending charges. From what we understand, he hasn't actually been arrested. So, it's sort of an ongoing developing situation. But there's a little bit more in that the guy that actually finally pulled Raja Jackson off Psycho Stu, the epic Doug Mallow, and Ian Morgan, who apparently are both associated with the Knox Pro Wrestling School and promotion. And associated, I mean, they're like, students / participants there.
Yeah.
They went on something called the Scaling Up podcast, because apparently they're associated with this podcast as well. So they're like, hey, come on over and talk about it. It's like 500,000 views at this point.
Yeah.
This element of the podcast. But they had some interesting information. This Ian Morgan fella says there's been multiple requests that have gone downstream from upper management to not talk with the police directly if they are contacted, and to only let a certain group of individuals interact with the police. So they showed some screenshots from somebody named Kevin Thomas, who apparently is a Knox Pro employee or somebody in upper management. Mm-hmm. And these screenshots say, please refrain from engaging in comment sections on social media posts about this tragedy. It will be weaponized in potential criminal and civil cases. Fly low. If law enforcement or an attorney for the suspect contacts you in any capacity, let someone here know right away for guidance on how to address them. That's kind of wild business.
Well, throughout this, Ian Morgan especially is very adamant that Knox Pro is actively trying to not allow people to talk to law enforcement.
Yeah, yeah.
He's very adamant about it. So like there's a way you could read these messages in that it could say, just be careful what you say, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Which I understand why, you know, if the idea, the social media aspect, I totally understand, because you don't want people associated with your school saying some wild shit on social media and have it come back to hurt the company. I understand why you would advise people to like step back. You can, you know, open them up, or people associated with the company, to all sorts of things. I understand why they'd advise people to, you know, kind of just not do that.
Yeah, right, yeah.
As far as the law enforcement thing,
That's tricky ground right there.
it is.
Because, yeah.
Let someone know here right away for guidance on how to address them.
Yeah.
If it's a situation like, all right, before you talk to law enforcement or the attorney for the suspect, you know, if deemed necessary, we'll make sure you have legal counsel or something like that. I would understand that.
Or just do us the courtesy and let us know that this is happening.
Yeah.
I can understand that as well, because it allows them to sort of understand the full scope of what's happening.
Yeah.
But for guidance on how to address them, I read that. My interpretation is, we'll let you know what's okay to say.
Yeah.
And that gets into really tricky territory.
It does.
So again, you know, it sounds to me like if I'm upper management at Knox Pro, I'm probably hiring a lawyer.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they should have done that right away.
And any guidance in terms of what I'm telling my students or other wrestlers or whatever is coming directly from lawyer.
Yes.
So, but as we've seen, I'm not sure if the people, you know, in certain positions there,
Yeah.
you know, really know what they're doing.
I mean, Ian Morgan seemed pretty adamant that they don't. So if you watch this podcast,
Right.
yeah, you know, and if for all we know, Knox Pro has hired a lawyer already, and this message was vetted by a lawyer. I don't know.
That could entirely be possible. We don't know.
We don't know. You know, like I said, the social media aspect, that's probably good advice for people to follow, because you don't know what people are going to say. You don't know what's going to happen.
But the thing is, if a lawyer is representing Knox Pro, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be representing its students as well.
Exactly.
And so if that lawyer is saying, hey, come to me first, yeah, dude, I don't know. I don't know. You know, you got to be really careful about all that business.
You do.
know?
And maybe this is a poorly stated statement here from Kevin Thomas, specifically about the guidance on how to address them.
Yeah.
Unless maybe there's more context here we don't know, because at face value, it makes it sound like, all right, we're going to give you your talking points and don't deviate from that. Mm-hmm. Potentially, you know, which is an issue, potentially a major issue.
Yeah.
So
ongoing situation. It'll be interesting to see over the next couple of days and weeks to see how this further develops. In lighter news, in light of Becky Lynch's promo on Raw the other night, where she was running down the wonderful city of Birmingham, not so wonderful in her eyes, and certainly not so wonderful as Becky Lynch in the eyes of Ozzy Osbourne's daughter, Kelly Osbourne, because she took to social media in the wake of Becky Lynch's Raw promo, taking issue with Becky using Ozzy's name. And she, instead of tagging Becky Lynch on Instagram, I believe it was on Instagram, she tagged a Becky Lynch fan account. Mm-hmm. So she said this: BeckyLynch.fanLL, you are a disrespectful dirtbag. Birmingham would not piss on you if you were on fire. Hashtag Birmingham forever. Shame on the WWE for allowing such things to be said about my father and his home. Do you think Kelly Osbourne is just playing along with the heel Becky Lynch? You think she's actually upset with the WWE?
yeah, I mean, Ozzy passed away about a month ago. Mm-hmm. You know, that's pretty recent, and
pretty raw there.
And the family, I'm sure, is still undergoing their grieving process for losing Ozzy. So I would understand if that hit a nerve. Absolutely.
I'd also understand if this was playing along with it. I'd get that. Ozzy was a showman. He was a performer. He had a good relationship with WWE. And by the way, WWE went, they bent over backwards paying homage to Ozzy as well.
He's a Hall of Famer, WWE Hall of Famer.
So, saying, hey, you're a disrespectful dirtbag is kind of something you would say to a bad guy in a show. And saying Birmingham wouldn't piss on you. Kelly Osbourne's got to be a savvy person, understand that Becky Lynch is doing this in character. And this is sort of a response to, this isn't saying, hey, it's tacky to use my father's name in a bad guy's promo. This is calling out the bad guy, Becky Lynch.
Well, the fan account of bad guy Becky Lynch.
The fan account of the bad guy, Becky Lynch. So, but then she does say shame on WWE for allowing such things to be said about my father in his home. So I think it could be taken either way. In any event, it also made over there in the UK quite a few, I don't know about front pages necessarily, but I did see, and I tried to get this back on, because I saw it on Twitter this morning and then I lost it. But there was like a bunch of and all their tabloids and whatnot, putting Becky Lynch on blast and, publishing this as an actual news story, which I think is kind of probably the heat you want if you're Becky Lynch. It struck a nerve.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah,
apparently.
So I don't know. We'll. That's probably just a one and done story, not a developing situation.
I imagine so.
Yeah. Anyway,
you want to answer some questions?
Yeah, we got a bunch of questions here. Might as well go ahead and answer them. Pat out the show a little bit, Larson.
Exactly. Sebastian Garcia asks, "What are some of your favorite AEW pay-per-view matches?"
My memory is so shit.
Hangman Swerve, Texas Death.
Thank you. That's a great one.
That might be my favorite.
Both Hangman Swerve matches on pay-per-view, the two big ones were awesome.
They had three of them, yeah. But
they had a whole trilogy on pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Swerve the two main ones, though. They were like the two.
Talk about the cage match. Yeah, the cage match.
Yeah, cage match.
Texas Death.
Was that the one with the syringes?
Yeah.
That was awesome. And then the other one was awesome.
Texas Death, yeah.
Yeah, Texas Death. What was the third one?
I think it was just like a regular match.
Yeah, not that one. Don't care about that one.
I remember that being pretty good, though. Danielson and Ricky Starks strap match.
Ooh, great call.
That match is fantastic.
That's awesome. Yeah. Here's the thing is that AEW for a spell, because before they were doing like monthly pay-per-views, they had a lot of bangers on like normal television,
Like Kenny versus Pac in the Iron Man match.
See, I was going to say that as a pay-per-view match.
That was on Dynamite.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That match was fantastic.
Did Kenny and Pac have a lights out match, or was that just Kenny and Mox?
No, I don't think Kenny and Pac had lights out match.
Okay, all right.
Just Kenny and Mox. That was on pay-per-view.
Dude, that's sort of the thing about AEW is that it's funny. You can go back in WWE's history, and you can count the number of like real 5-star matches like on maybe two hands, or even things that you would consider. Oh man, this is great. Savage Steamboat is great. HBK Undertaker is great. That kind of stuff. End of an era. Oh, it's great. Angle versus HBK. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
AEW's got so many of these motherfuckers.
I know.
I mean, how about this? Danielson Okada? Was that on
pay-per-view? The one on pay-per-view, the one where Danielson broke his arm, wasn't as good as their Tokyo Dome match, though.
Okay. Right. Like, I don't know. Will Ospreay versus insert opponent. Like, they're all they've got so many banger-ass matches.
Yeah.
So many of them. Young Bucks versus Lucha Bros in a steel cage. Wasn't that on pay-per-view?
That was on pay-per-view. Yeah.
That was like all out at 2021. I don't know. Like, hey, how about this? CM Punk versus Samoa Joe. CM Punk's last match. That was a fucking banger-ass match.
That was a good match. Punk, MJF, and the dog collar match.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Like, shit. They got so many good
We're just like doing 6 degrees of good match here.
Dude, there's so many of them.
I know.
I'm sure CM Punk Darby Allin was a great match. I don't remember much from it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. That they have a lot of really good matches.
They do.
So
it's
many.
An abundance of riches, an embarrassment of riches.
An embarrassment of riches.
Suggest me a sandwich says, if you suddenly had the ability to wrestle incredibly well, who would you trust the most to make you look good? Here's the thing. If I had the ability to wrestle incredibly well, when people want to wrestle opposite me, so I would make them look
I would choose you. I'd say Larson and I, we have chemistry. We got a shorthand when we communicate. He knows my physical weaknesses. I have no idea if I have.
It's just chops to the midsection. That's all I'm
Well,
doing.
I was about to say I have no idea if I have any physical strengths, but he definitely knows my weaknesses. So yeah, if you were good at wrestling, I would choose you.
That's interesting. You pick me because I totally pick Okada.
Well, the idea is you're good at wrestling. Yeah, I mean, probably I would go with Danielson. I feel like in the history of Danielson, that guy has like dragged more people to fucking awesome matches than like anybody else I can really think of.
Yeah. Luis says, what is the origins of the term Pillmanized and what does it actually mean? It's when you wrap the chair around somebody's body part
Yeah.
and stomp on it, 'cause I believe he used to do that.
Yeah, I think so. Wait, did he used to do it or did he have it done to him?
That I don't remember.
Because I
thought that
legit don't know.
It was a loose cannon thing, I thought.
Okay, well, it sounds like something a loose cannon would do. But it also sounds like something a loose cannon would have done to him for being a loose cannon.
Could be.
I don't know. This ain't Jim Cornette's podcast, man. I'm not a depository of fucking wrestling knowledge.
So it is because Pillman had the chair wrapped around his ankle by Stone Cold and stomped on it.
Oh, man. Goddamn, we learned something new today, a couple of dumb motherfuckers. I'll Pillmanize that dumb son of a bitch.
There we go.
He's a loose cannon. I had to stop him from loose cannoning all over Steve Austin. So I wrapped that chair around his, ankle?
Yeah.
I wrapped it around his ankle. I was like, you ain't going to loose cannon all over Stone Cold Steve Austin. Lord Blake Whitehouse says, what's a bigger gaslighting moment in Going in Raw history? Steve holding Big Red hostage. Reject the premise. Steve holding Big Red hostage.
He did it. I don't know why you're...
Somebody stole the thing and now I'm being blamed
you stole
for it.
You stole it.
Or, and this is the answer, Larson lying about Too Sweeting AJ Styles and Kenny Omega. It's that. It's that.
See, with Big Red, you deprived me of what was rightfully mine, which was a title reign with Big Red.
Yeah,
because
the
it
truth
was stolen.
Is rightfully mine. And for years, you're like, I don't too sweet. And then all of a sudden, we were like presented with just a fucking buffet of people that you couldn't resist to Too Sweet. How are you going to go through life and be like, yeah, I met Kenny Omega, had the opportunity to Too Sweet him, and I didn't. I literally interviewed AJ Styles, and I got him to Too Sweet me. Of course, he had to do it.
Though, once I was truthful about it, I've remained truthful about it. You still deny that you took Big Red from me. Therefore, the gaslighting continues from you, but doesn't continue from me.
So you're saying this is the bigger gaslighting moment?
Yes, because you persist.
Assuming what you're saying is true, then I would agree that's the bigger gaslighting moment. But I still reject the premise that belt was stolen.
No, it wasn't. You admitted that you took it and claimed it was stolen.
It was under duress. That was called a false confession.
It was just on a show like this, and you copped to it, and that was that.
No, you're the cop. Bad cop. Dave,
I ain't no cop, man.
You know what I realized? So I went through my phase last week of wearing, because on my old grandpa's shirts.
Uh-huh.
And I remembered this on camera. He was a Fed. He worked for the FBI. Yeah. He helped build a database of criminals. It was a fucking snitch machine, this guy.
Wow.
I got dirty cop blood in my system, Larson. Can we still be friends or no?
I don't know. I'll think about that. Nate Cruz says, according to your taste, what are the food equivalents to WWE, AEW, TNA, and AAA? Nate says, for example, WWE is pizza to me right now. Sometimes great, sometimes mid, but rarely awful. So, if you had to come up with food equivalents for the wrestling promotions.
Okay. I love it because, wait, who's asking this?
Nate Cruz.
Okay. All right.
I think the pizza WWE analogy at this juncture is pretty good.
I think it is, yeah. Yeah.
But for AEW, trying to think of something that might be at times hit or miss, but when you have to pay extra for it, you're
really
going to get something good.
I mean, to a degree, to a degree, that could be considered of pizza as well. Their normal cheap ass okay. AEW is, well,
I think I have it.
okay, go ahead.
AEW is a steak.
Okay.
Because, like, say like the mid-level steak places that charge a decent amount of money for their steaks. Sometimes they're good, but sometimes you get a bad cut and you're like, what the heck? This is half gristle.
Right, but it's like you're at fucking Outback. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then if you pay the premium for a good steak,
you know you're going to get good stuff.
you know you're getting something good.
Yeah, no, that's a great one. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Similar to that, Carlos Diaz says, describe the main wrestling companies and or brands as pizzas.
All right.
So I don't know if he means like pizza franchises or...
I would guess types.
You think it's types?
Like I would think WB would be like your Supreme Pizza. It's got a little bit of something for everybody.
Okay,
that's the
there
aim
you
at
go.
least.
Okay. What would AEW be then? I kind of like just going with the franchise idea.
I think AEW would be Hawaiian pizza because some people do not like pineapple on their pizza and will reject it out of hand. And I think a lot of people just reject AEW out of hand because they're competitors at WWE.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to say New Japan is a reverse Little Caesars, where like New Japan used to be really good. Little Caesars is pretty good right now because they got those like oven portals that you got. You do the app, it's fresh in the oven portal. Hey, you know what? I only paid like $13 for this and it's pretty damn good. It ain't that far away from the really good pizza. But then now New Japan is Little Caesars of old, where it's like you pay $5, you're getting a $5 pizza. Like, only kids like that shit. And I don't know any better.
Edwin Munoz says WWE is essentially going for the kill on AEW, buying AAA, basically owning TNA. Do you think this is when they fully become the wrestling company and monopolize the industry completely? As long as AEW is around, obviously there won't be a complete and total monopoly. It seems pretty evident that's what WWE wants. They want to put their competitors. They either want to own their competitors, have good relationships with their competitors, or drive their competitors out of business.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, it's going to be difficult. We'll see. That AEW TV deal was big money. Big money. And so them being able to put AEW out of business, I don't think it's going to be that easy.
No.
You know? I mean, one could speculate that I know, Tony Khan has tons of money. If he wanted to continue AEW in some way, shape, or form for the rest of his life, he could. He can afford to spend that much money. But, is his, desire to have a profitable business going to override his sense of like, well, I'm going to do this regardless, So if he loses the TV deal and he gets something that is more on par with, what the CW is paying for NXT, I don't know. The next 5-10 years is going to be really, really interesting to see where that goes. He seems to have a really good relationship with Warner Bros. Discovery, but Warner Bros. Discovery isn't even going to be Warner Bros. Discovery anymore. It's going to be Warner Bros. And Discovery. So how is that going to affect things? They're too cheap to continue paying NBA. So I don't know. The future, it's too difficult to tell. But at least for now, AEW is doing fine.
Yeah.
So, and as long as Tony Khan is able to offer competitive contracts to decent names, the draws, the names are the thing. The draws are the thing, and the wrestling is really good. So, I don't know. I don't think right now it's, you can say, oh, WWE is the end-all, be-all, when AEW is out there and they're not showing any signs of dying. Let's see here. Ronan the Analyst says, what's the better album, In Utero or Nirvana's Unplugged?
I'd personally give the edge to In Utero.
As would I.
Jacob Underwood says, it occurred to me yesterday, Braun Breaker is stuck in the Raw main event vortex yet to get a singles bump like Rita's getting. His last People Live event singles match was SummerSlam 2024. If he's the future WrestleMania main event star, why is he the third wheel getting no bump? He's going to have a match with Roman at some point, and he'll probably win that.
I feel like this match with Roman and Bronson Reed, and this, Bronson Reed being the tribal thief, I think was a much needed boost to Bronson Reed. They can pull the trigger on Braun Breaker at any moment in terms of being a singles guy, like a proper singles premium live event guy. But like Reed needed the help. He needed this little push. So yeah, no, Breaker he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think so too.
Metal Pulse says, now that Orange Cassidy is cleared, what's the first story or match that he should be a part of? So Fightful Select today reported that Orange Cassidy has been cleared and will be back sooner than later.
Good to hear.
Who do you see him mixing it up with first? Did the Death Riders put him out of business? Is that how did they write him off in that manner?
Yes, so I guess maybe get back to the Death Rider stuff in some capacity. That's hopefully interesting.
He should join the Don Callis family.
There we go. That's the answer.
Yeah, make that even bigger. Ryan Big Dog Hansen says, if you can go back in time and stop one wrestling moment in kayfabe world, what would it be? So nothing like a real world tragedy, but in kayfabe, one wrestling moment. Oh, me, it'd be easy. Finger poke at Doom.
Oh, yeah.
Have a match. Have Kevin Nash powerbomb Hulk Hogan into oblivion.
Yeah.
That'd be sick. Wolfpack.
Sean Jones asks, who benefited more from when they walked out of WWE in 2019, Naomi or Mercedes?
Man, you got to kind of think it's they both made out really well. Mercedes doing great. Naomi's doing great.
Yeah.
I would if Naomi had not discovered that heel character, I'd probably give it to Mercedes. But Naomi, that heel character over the last couple of months has been so entertaining and has been such a great rejuvenation, and the crowd loves her.
Yeah.
So her return is going to be huge.
Oh, it's going to be massive. And also, Naomi had a good run in Impact, too.
She did, yeah.
Diehard Homer here says, to spin off yesterday's question, which of these fictional wrestlers would most likely be a recipient of the Baron Corbin Award from you two? Randy the Ram, Jimmy King, Captain Insano, Bonesaw, or Jack Spade? It's got to be Jimmy King, right?
So, dude, I don't know much about Jimmy King. I've never seen Ready to Rumble. I assume at the end he is triumphant, though.
I've never seen Ready to Rumble either, but I know Oliver Platt plays Jimmy King, I believe.
Yeah, right. But, he's the champion who falls on hard times and then is able to come back thanks to David Arquette. Is that how it is? I have no idea.
Scott Conn. I don't know. I've never seen
And Scott Conn, yeah. Okay, so probably Bones. Oh, dude, it's Bonesaw McGraw. He got schooled by that teenager. That's the most Baron Corbin thing that could happen. Like, they bring this big jacked out guy into the ring and then he gets humiliated. That is the definition of the Baron Corbin Award. It's Bonesaw McGraw.
Miko here asked, the way Teddy Long used to instill fear by making people go one-on-one with The Undertaker, what wrestler today could fill that role? So if the general manager like Pierce or Aldis, one that really wants to instill fear.
I feel like a year from now it should be Braun Breaker. I feel like a year from now nobody should want to face Braun Breaker in the ring. They needed to really do a thing where he just starts like breaking ribs with a spear, like make it a thing where it's like, oh my God, you don't want to be in there with him. He's going to break your ribs.
Destructive.
Yeah.
Aussie Horror here says, do you see the Raha Jackson incident damage the reputation and legitimacy of indie wrestling promotions?
No, because most indie wrestling promotions don't run their shit like that.
Nope.
Can we skip to the good part? Says, if Bronson Reed takes the L in Paris, how can they build him back up? Wins.
Yeah, he'll still get wins in tag matches, and he's gonna be positioned as not quite a depth guy, but a utility guy. I think he'll be someone who gets a few more wins than a depth guy would, but also not really ever go to the main event scene.
I think that's probably realistic. It'd be interesting to see if they actually do want to see big things for him and they actually book him like a monster, but I kind of feel like he's going to be depth guy. Yeah. Do you have any more over there?
Yeah, I got a couple more. Count Dookie says, specifically for non-wrestlers in the ring and the receipt system, do you believe the Knox Pro incident will have major repercussions on the wrestling industry?
Yeah, to a degree. I do think that it's going to. I feel like this is a great lesson probably for indie promotions to make sure, especially if Knox Pro ends up suffering some pretty heavy consequences, you would think that playing loosey-goosey with outsiders would be something that's on their minds.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, hey, we don't want to have it, dude. It's gonna be this is gonna go down as a term that people use. Oh, we don't want a Knox Pro thing, or we don't want a Raja Jackson thing. So yeah, it wouldn't shock me if, I mean, look, the indie promotions and the promoters out there who look at this and say, Jesus Christ, these guys were fucking morons. Then they're never that never would have happened with them anyways. There might be some out there who are like, ooh, I could have seen us maybe doing that.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a cautionary tale. Yeah,
yeah, right. If they're being honest with themselves,
yeah,
this is something that, you know, or if it's like, hey, you know, got a hold of some money. There's a promoter out there who wants to start doing stuff. You know, they're new to it. Cautionary tale. This is one thing you don't do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see it absolutely having, you know, being a cautionary tale for promotions out there. Sure.
Yeah. Alex Foster here says, if you were a ghost and your co-host didn't know it, what things would you do to haunt/prank them?
Oh, man. Probably, you know, if you're out there practicing your shot, I'd ghost up and, like, you know, ball goes towards rim, swat that shit.
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
What's happening? You know.
See, but I wouldn't do the swat though, because that's like, well, that wouldn't happen just a shot out of my hand with no defending. I would just alter it enough that it would miss, but the miss would seem natural. You're like, what's going on with my shot? Destroy your confidence. Maybe start experimenting with a new shot, and then your shot would be trash for a while.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
For me, I know this is a sore spot for you. This is what I would do.
Okay.
Whenever you're making food,
oh yeah,
ghost me would just amble up.
That's
time.
fucked up. That's fucked
Every
up.
time.
The worst ghost. We're gonna end on this one here. Turn around. We'll turn around here. Cameron Shank says, rank the big four grunge bands by their most mainstream hit. So Smells Like Teen Spirit, Jeremy, probably Wood.
What are them bones? Yeah.
Them Bones. Did they even have a video for Them Bones?
Yes. Yeah. They had a video for them bones.
It was like a minute-long song.
No, it's much longer than that.
Wood plays on the 90s channel all the time.
Well, then it's Black Hole Sun. It's Black Hole Sun's the fourth one.
And they shot that shit in 35 millimeter. And then Black Hole Sun. I think that's the order. No, I think it's if we're talking about popularity, it Smells Like Teen Spirit, Jeremy, Black Hole Sun, Wood.
Yeah, probably. But if we're talking about our personal preferences.
Oh, if we're talking about personal preference, goddamn, Jeremy's probably last for me. But it's, dude, I've heard it so many times. That's the thing. For me, it would be probably that. It'd be Wood. God, I've heard them so many times. It'd be Wood number one.
Yeah, it would be number one for me too.
Probably Black Hole Sun. Then Smells Like Teen Spirit. Then Jeremy. I've heard Jeremy too many times.
For me, it would probably be Wood. I mean, it's a toss-up between Jeremy and Smells Like Teen Spirit, and then Black Hole Sun last.
Oh,
I've never been huge on Black Hole Sun.
Yeah.
Even when I first bought Super Unknown, I listened to it. It's like, yeah, it's fine. I don't ever listen to it anymore.
There are much better songs on that album. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. Yeah. But goddamn, I've heard the other two so many times.
Yeah, I know.
Like these days, if I'm listening to 10, I just skip Jeremy. I
So
skip
if-
Even Flow and Jeremy. Even Flow is like my least favorite song on that album.
No, Garden's way worse. So if those 4 songs, if they came on the if those 4 songs came on the radio, the only one that I would listen to would be Wood. I'd change the station for the other ones.
I probably would too. Yeah. Yeah. All right. That's going to do it for the show today. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll see you guys around.
Goodbye.